I'm a real fly girl, I jet set round the world. Stamps on the passport, niggas trying to fly me out. About my business like.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Way with Jazz and Tae. It's your girl Jazz and
Shantae.
and we know it's been a minute. We hope you haven't forgotten about us, but we are back. And we've got some fun stuff to talk about today.
Hell yeah. We were like, we have to do an episode now that Kendrick and Drake had settled down and we can keep up with the score.
You know, it was literally like a couple of days where it was just like my head is spinning. I can't keep up.
I was upset. I was like, I cannot keep up with this. I am trying to have a social life. I am outside and you guys are just dropping bangers, honestly. Like,
literally.
That's my one thing about rap beef. So we had to come back, you know. Also, like, Jazz has been living her best life and she got to do probably one of her top bucket list things ever.
I did. That would be the last thing they would talk about, though. I'm going to keep you guys in suspense.
Oh, yeah. So we absolutely had to update you guys on that. So as we said, that's kind of what our show is going to be about today. Life lately and the Kendrick Lamar and Drake rap beef of the century.
And it is of the century, like hands down. Everybody said that.
Honestly, truly.
I don't think, you know, Jay-Z's not on Twitter, but I know he's said it with his mouth to Beyonce.
Oh, I heard that too. My sources say.
But yeah, let's get into it. Life lately, I've been jet setting. Oh, just like Shantae.
I'm a real fly girl. Jet set around the world.
No, but I did. I got to go on a nice like tropical vacation. I'll talk more about that because that's where that bucket list item comes into play. But as you guys have known, I've been unemployed since October, the end of October. And I've been kind of in this weird space of like, okay, what do I need to do? I've got all this time. How can I make it worth it? How can I pour into myself, you know, make the most of this? And a couple of things that I have been putting off was, you know, I am an HR professional. That's my 9 to 5. And I hadn't updated my certificate in a while. It's been years. And I figured that, you know, if I need to pull my big girl pants on soon and start applying for these, you know, jobs, which I should be doing, it would just look really nice to have an updated certification on there.
Yeah.
I study through SHRM, which is a really popular.
Okay.
Yeah, they have, you know, they have like chapters all over the country. So, and they have all kinds of different like courses and things and meetups. Like it's a really nice network of people who are like in my same kind of like fields.
When I worked for SBI, the Association Management, we managed the SHRM, I think if it was the region or the city of Seattle or like that location.
Okay, yeah.
We managed it for them. So I'm very familiar with them actually. We used to do their event planning and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I really like it. You pay for like a yearly membership and that's where you kind of like get, and it helps you stay up to date on all the things that are like changing in the world of HR or whatever. So
love that.
Yeah, so finally sitting my ass down and studying for that. I'm hoping to hopefully pass with flying colors before the end of this summer.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have all my booklets, all my coursework, studying flashcards. It's so weird. I feel like I'm in high school again. And then on a more fun side of things, I enrolled in a makeup course or like a certification course.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and so it's fully online. You know, it's interactive. I have live teachers, mentors, and stuff to help me with techniques and things like that. But I really just kind of wanted to like, you know, everybody these days, you know, it's not hard to get on YouTube and TikTok and find like a makeup tutorial. And it's true, there are no real like rules when it comes to makeup. Everyone kind of finds things that works for their face, their skin tone, everything. Like, you know, everyone has their own thing.
Right.
And I've always kind of, you know, done my own makeup. I consider myself to be self-taught. You know, I practice on myself and friends, but at the core of it, it's nice to have a general guideline. So there's there's no rules, but there are general like do's and don'ts when it comes to makeup, and especially as a makeup artist, cleanliness, hygiene, etc.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so just kind of really fine-tuning my knowledge when it comes to that, and fine-tuning my like techniques and everything. And I had one course and that immediately like changed my life when it came to blending and how I blend like eyeshadow.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, bitch, I want to do eyeshadow every single day just because I want to, what can I do with these colors today? How can I blend this out to make it look cute? Like, yeah. So it's really fun. I decided that I would challenge myself and do both right now because I do have the time
the free time. Yeah.
And also one is more like fun for me than the other.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm more inclined to like go through that process knowing that like, I don't know, it's kind of like a reward. Like, oh, if I do my studying for my SHRM, then I can have a little bit of fun with my makeup stuff. And like, yeah, it's helping me stay motivated and all of that. So the SHRM thing has higher priority, of course, but my makeup course is also really fun. And then being able to see what I can do from there as far as like employment, how much time I can diverge into either or and all of that. So
I think that's a really great balance between the two. I mean, you know, it's kind of like in school where you had your like the classes you had to take, but then you got your electives, you know, like this is just like a hobby for you, something that not a hobby, but like, you know, like your passion, like trying different things for yourself as well. I think that's really good that you're also taking this time, you know, like while you have like, I guess you have the time because you're not employed to explore those things, because I feel like a lot of people day to day, like you get very marred in the day to day, like literally, this is my routine, it doesn't change up, and you don't you might want a further education, but like you may not feel like you have the time to do it. And then like maybe you lose your job and then you feel like, oh, I don't, you kind of trying to figure out, okay, do I just jump right back into a new job
into it,
or do I take that time? And I think that that's a really great use of your time, and I think you'll thank yourself for it, like going down the road.
I do too. I already feel, because like even as I am like going through, but like just seeing what the job market looks like, a lot of them heavily support and like prefer having like SHRM certifications and like that experience and everything. So like, you know, I didn't do that traditional college route, but I have worked in HR for over 5 years, and with my certification, it's the same, if not better than, you know, and a lot of companies and businesses out here look at that as well. So I'm kind of like, I don't know, I used to always feel bad about myself, like talk down about myself because I didn't have that traditional college experience. You know, I've always done okay for myself, but like, I understand that those things do make a difference. And just
you know my feelings. I feel like college is a scam, and
it's a scam. It just gives you debt, whatever.
Yeah, it really does. I feel like honestly, truly, like I think that it can help in some respects, but I also feel like it is a capitalistic rat race as well, because it's like you'll go to school to get a better paying job and still can't get a better paying job. So now I'm just in debt and I can't pay down that debt ever.
And then whatever jobs I do get, 30% of that's going to go to my paying off my loans anyways.
To pay off this education. Oh, but you know what? If you actually get your master's, you'll have a better chance as well. But now
it's also going to cost more money.
Exactly. So it's just like, you know, there are like, I definitely say for me, like I did need to go get my master's. It did help me to get my job at Liberty. But I also think that with all the other things that you're passionate about, you know, maybe that doesn't have to be your path or your journey.
Exactly.
So I'm just like, find what works for you.
For sure. Best. No, exactly.
Get in this rat race and take them for all they're worth. Down with the patriarchy.
Amen, sister. I'm down. I'm down with it all. I'm done with it all, and I'm down with it all.
Sorry, I had to get on that soapbox. Really quick.
I appreciate. No, because you're not wrong. You are
stepping down.
Well, and that's kind of always been like, that's always been my thing too. Is like, you know, I didn't come from money, and like that was one of the big reasons why, you know, I didn't go to college, was because, one, I didn't get scholarships, and then two, my parents couldn't take out loans to send me to college. So it was just, I was fighting to get out of the mud from the jump.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting concept as well, because I feel like, you know, some people it's like you have to go to, like, maybe your parents are like, you have to go to college, like that's obviously going to be your next step. But I don't think that anybody, like, I think it's even like in the conversation of abortion or whatever, not everybody has the same circumstances. So you're like putting some some sort of societal norm that
Mhm.
like we've been conditioned to think is the norm. But you're not basing it off of different people's experiences and lifestyles.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't make sense. Like it can't apply to everybody.
Well, and it was like, and this is obviously probably not everyone's, this is also not like a norm, but like with, I think it was Malia Obama, whatever the oldest Obama was. Sasha? I don't fucking know. The one that looks like Michelle.
Malia is the oldest and Sasha's the youngest.
Okay. She took like that gap year before she went to college, and everyone was like calling that irresponsible, or she's going to be behind and yada, yada, yada. But I'm pretty sure she was going to like Harvard or something.
Yeah.
Like she got accepted already to like an Ivy League college, and you guys are giving her shit because she wanted to take a break. I know senior year in high school is not a walk in the park for a lot of these people. And then jumping into college is also not fun.
No.
I like, if I didn't do that, but like I had a bunch of friends who like absolutely would have loved to take a year off, even if it wasn't to like travel or whatever. Like just give me a break from the whole educational system and like the whole dynamic of that. Let me be a kid for a second before jumping. And
it's like you're on go from the
yeah
moment that you graduate high school, really.
And like and it's like, with her, she could do that. That's something that she was able to do. My little sister, our really good friend Sonora, like she had a lot of really cool opportunities and things that like, and it's just and with her, she wasn't someone also who came from a family that was just throwing money at her. The girl worked, she was all gas, no brakes for the longest time.
Period.
And look at her now. She's a lawyer in DC. Amazing.
It's funny because it's like I feel like we also do really amazing things, but anytime we talk about Sonora, we're like, that woman I lived through vicariously.
That's the standard. Literally. It's like, yeah, we're doing okay, but Sonora,
love you, girl.
Literally. Not me getting emotional over here, but anyway.
Literally, I was like, why do I feel tears? I've been
proud of you, always love you.
I have been crying a lot lately. So
I was gonna say, speaking of, lastly, before we get into the fun part of my life update, I'm getting back into therapy consistently. I know I've been like back and forth since I had that one really great experience, and then insurance fucked me up, and then I had this. And then I went back into it, and I was dealing with this lady too. We probably had a handful of sessions, and I felt like by the second or third session that I was kind of like, I don't know if this is going to be a fit for me, a good match. And I was also just trying to give her the benefit of the doubt because of where I was in my life. Like, my stuff going on with my dad and my job. I was like, I'm not trying to do this niceties and get you all the way up to speed. I need you to meet me where I'm at right now. And like, it just, and then there was a couple instances where like, I know she wasn't paying attention, or like she wasn't listening, or like towards the end, it was like within the last like 7 minutes of like the last session that I had with her, I could tell this bitch was looking down at her phone. Like, yeah. No, it was not at all sitting like well with me. And then I also felt like she wasn't listening to me when I was trying to tell her about my dad. Like, yes, I'm grieving and I'm going through the loss of a parent, but I think she was trying to guide me solely on that dynamic rather than listening to like, no, we did not have a good relationship. We weren't talking up to the point of him passing. There's a lot of other nuances and things that go into this. So like, thank you for helping me grieve. Like that's valid. And I appreciate that. But like, I need you to also understand everything else. And like, she was more like, what kind of stuff did you like to do with your dad? What kind of like, shit like that. And I'm just like, no, bitch, I'm trying to talk to you about the fact that he used to verbally and mentally abuse me all the fucking time.
Right.
And why am I sad about missing him? Like the two don't make sense.
Yeah.
But
maybe she was onto something.
Well, like, no, she's okay. So
that is grief manifesting.
You're not wrong. And like, there are like, I do have so many like happy memories and all that stuff, but like I needed her to like, I don't know.
How do I settle with this? How do I make peace with it?
Yeah. And like the other therapist that I had, I think because she had a better understanding of like that dynamic going through this grief process and everything probably would have been like different. And her being on her phone like at the end just didn't.
Oh yeah, that.
And it was like literally like this, like you could see it in the eyes, like, you know, in the slow kind of like, yeah, you know, like it was just, I wanted to just be like, okay, well, we can end the session because like,
don't they have rules about you being on your phone during session?
Listen. So yeah, I took a break from that. I was like, I'm not in the space to deal with this. And then I just know that it's going to be gymnastics again, getting your therapist back to that point. So I finally just like, you know, I think it's all taken a bigger toll on me than I liked to realize and admit, you know, with, you know, my job, my dad, and just like, even like personal relationships, seeing how it's like affecting things in like that way on a broader scale. I'm finding myself a little bit more like withdrawn and or like even digressing into like old patterns and like habits that I had been doing before even the work that I was doing with my last therapist.
I see.
And it's not a digression that like I'm willing or wanting to be comfortable with. And again, since I'm in this space and like I'm aware of it, I want to try and combat that the best way that I can. And not that I can't hold myself accountable, but my therapist has always done a better job at that. It like it helps me in those days.
I mean, I feel like that's half of it, is like having that accountability and that constant reminder. Like when I go to therapy, my therapist calls me on my shit all the time, and I will try to act like, oh, like I'm so aloof, but like I'm not a dumb bitch first and foremost. Never have been. So she's like, Shantae, when you decide to stop playing, we're gonna have a breakthrough. And like literally, like the other day, I literally was like, I told her a bunch of stuff, and she was like, the growth. You should have led with that. Oh my gosh. Like I had like 2 moments where she was like, and I was just thinking that we weren't getting anywhere. But, you know, like that's a lot of it, is like somebody that holds you accountable for your bullshit and tries to help you to break those patterns that are detrimental to your growth.
Yeah. So I'm really ready to get back into all of that. Like I don't have a lot of structure right now, and it's all gonna just come full circle. Help me. So yeah. Oh, I forgot. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, did you actually get a new therapist, or are you like in the process of looking?
No, I do. I have a new therapist. Her name is Brandy, through Talkspace. She's a white woman. However, she a lot of her like experience and like things that she like I guess has worked on is applicable to me. And also as someone who is a white woman, she has a lot of experience dealing with minorities and like BIPOC and stuff like that, and like LGBTQ stuff. So
I'm sorry, when you said that, I thought you were referring to yourself, and that cracked me up. That's the
what? Like what? A minority?
No, when you said as a white woman, and I was like, is she talking about herself? And then when you went on, I was like, oh no.
No, it's funny because technically I could claim
what you could.
I
was like, what? I've never heard her say that before.
Oh my God, that's actually so funny because like I've applied for guns before and I've put down my race as Caucasian because it only lets you check
more likely.
one.
Yeah.
And you know, how are you going to tell me that I'm not? Pull up this picture of my dad. See?
Sorry, but sorry to derail that, but I think that that's really great, and I'm happy for you.
Yeah, thank you. Me too. I'm actually really looking forward to it, and I've not that I don't look forward to it, but like I know that I'm ready, if that makes sense.
I definitely get that. I would say like an update for me is like lately I have been feeling very very overwhelmed, like constantly, and it feels like I'm in a state of like exhaustion or like burnout. And so I actually been talking with my therapist about like the possibility of me having ADHD, and she thinks that it's definitely a possibility. And so,
Mhm.
but she was like, we want to get a real diagnosis if you feel like you're at that point where you'd like to do medication management. And so I've actually been looking for psychiatrists in the area just to see if I could just so I can get like formally evaluated for
Yeah.
ADHD, adult ADHD.
Nice.
So that's like one of my biggest things. I was hoping to have that like done by May so that I could say that's like my mental health awareness, like check
Right.
in
Right.
for
For sure.
myself.
For sure.
Just to have a goal, but like I am actively like doing the work towards it. And I have a pretty strong list of psychiatrists in the area. So like it's just a matter now of selecting one. And so
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that because I just would like to just kind of see what they say. I mean, like I definitely feel like the only reason why I brought it up is because I feel like I'm struggling with like focus, and I always have in some aspects. And it's just like some things I feel like it's starting to get harder. And I've never really been a fan of medication, but I almost am at that point where it's like I would love to see, what medication recommendations they come up with to see what help, like what it would be like for me.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that's a good thing to start with. I tried to do the same, and the lady that prescribed me the medication, it was a non-stimulant, which like she wanted me to take for like a month, to see how I fared, or like, whatever.
Was it an antidepressant?
No, it was a non-stimulant. So
Okay.
like I don't know what that means, but like what I'm learning is that the stimulants are the ones that actually do stuff for you.
Yeah.
So like I was still like I wasn't remembering to take them. I would take it for like a week consistently. And she's like, how do you feel? And I'm like, honestly, I can't say that I feel anything different because I'm not taking them consistently. And I feel like that's a problem. I feel like that's a symptom of like, we should be switching up this medication.
Right.
Because I would probably remember to take it if it was actually doing something for me.
Right. Right. It's giving placebo.
No, right. I'm like, man, I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm telling you, there's something wrong here. And yeah.
So it's all a journey, and I think that like
thanks, girl.
part of the journey is like we're on the right step by reaching out for help, and I think that everybody should be bold enough and brave enough to do that, because I personally feel like everyone needs a therapist or some support, or I don't know, just to like focus on mental health.
Yeah. You're
whatever
not
that
wrong.
looks like for you.
I don't realize how big of a step it is, or like how big of a deal it is, that, because we've done this before, we've been in the process before. So like, it's easier, it's not unfamiliar, but for someone who it's new to, I do understand that like, it's a definite level of vulnerability and comfortability, what the fuck ever. And it's a complete stranger who you're essentially pouring out, just in some of your deepest, darkest, insecurities, secrets, experiences. It's heavy. It can be very heavy. So you're right. It's any step towards it is a big step.
If you think about how long it took us to even get there, like what was stopping us in the beginning, there's so many people, you know what I'm saying? It's like, some people never even get there.
Like, well, and to this day, like my mom, like I can't remember, I ran into her like a month or so ago, and I was telling her about how I had a session, and she was like, well, you can always come talk to me and I'm free. And I'm like, see, no, this is why, no, I can't just come talk to you. I know you're free, but like I talk to my therapist about you. Like,
respectfully.
Yeah. But onto the fun stuff.
Yes.
Vivian and I went to Costa Rica, had another one of our international trips of a lifetime. One thing I love about Viv is that she loves to travel and explore. And for her birthday, you can always guarantee we're not going to be here. We're going to be somewhere else. This year we went to Costa Rica because she loves me. And for her birthday, she wanted me to see sloths.
Wow.
It's like
what a keeper.
No, right. Of course not solely that, but like it was like two birds, one stone kind of thing. As soon as she found out that I had this thing for sloths, she had been like researching ways to like kind of make this happen. And we knew a lot of people recently who have talked about they had just been or coming back or like something. And so we were like, we could go, and it doesn't have to be like an arm and a leg,
I've heard that it's actually a very inexpensive trip. It
Yeah.
can be.
Yeah. So you gotta watch out though, because if you go, so we stayed in this area called La Fortuna, first of all, and that is closer to like the central area of the country, and there's a volcano.
Okay.
So we stayed over by the Arenal volcano, or like there's a national park and stuff over there.
Mhm.
And so that's where we first stayed. And that area, it's like, it's kind of touristy, but it's still very much like, you know, you're in this different culture in this place, and like it's still very much like the locals everywhere, the culture. And then for the second half of the trip, we stayed in this coastal town called Tamarindo, and
Ooh.
that's on the like Pacific side of the
Mhm.
country. And it was hot, beautiful beach, everything, but it was super touristy. It was almost
Okay.
as if you like were to be in like Tulum or Cabo, like, you know, just the culture's there, but like everything is more expensive. Everybody can speak English. You
Mhm.
know, the food even that they like have there, like pizza, steak houses and stuff. Not like when we were in La Fortuna, we were eating a whole, we told you in Sonora about it. We were eating a lot of like the traditional local dishes, like rice and beans and meats and stuff. And
Mhm.
in our stay in Tamarindo, it was like, oh no, I feel like I'm in California on a beach, or like Miami, you know? Yeah. So
That's
like
funny.
it was significantly more expensive on that side of the trip. And then also we spent, I think, a total of 4 nights out there. So we spent the majority of our trip there.
Oh.
You really in this area, you really probably only need to do like a weekend, or like it's a party town. You really probably only need to do no more than like 2 or 3 nights there, because there's only so much to do also,
Mhm.
you know? But I will say the highlight was absolutely La Fortuna, because that's where we got to see the sloths.
Oh yeah.
It was a whole like sanctuary. We
Okay.
went, yeah, it was like, it was like a big, huge covered, like, you know, area. I guess every single sloth in there was a rescue.
Oh.
Whether they were like found, or like, you know, maybe they got hit by a car or something, like, you know, they were all rescues.
Oh, that's sad.
It happens.
I don't like them. I mean, they move so slowly.
Yeah. And well, they were saying to the tour guide there, so they're very, very smart and they're very educational, but they're also a little shady. Like, they'll ask us, who do you think are the biggest predators, or, you know, whatever, of these animals? And we're like, I don't know, snakes. No, it's humans.
I was gonna say human.
Or, you know, who do you think is the worst, you know, influence or whatever? Like, it's always us, you know, because we're taking down their trees, or
Right.
we're hitting them with our cars, like stuff like that. Yeah. So there was 12 of them. They were all women, and they were all just asleep in these little like trees and things. And we decided to be very ethical. Vivian would not let me hold a sloth. We had to go to the sanctuary that we could just look at them really, 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 really closely. But we found out that most of the places that if you are like able to hug and touch the sloths are not very ethical. They were like ripped away from their parents at a young age, and when they're done with them, they just kind of like throw them back out into the forest and let them fend for themselves, and they probably don't survive very well. I'm so serious. Yeah. So we did the ethical way.
Oh, why am I crying?
No, but they do. Yeah.
I hate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And I was like giving her shit about it, because I was like, what do you mean I can't hold a sloth?
I was about to say, I was literally about to rip on her. I was like, why would you take her to a sanctuary and not let her hold the sloths? You got so close, and now I'm over here crying because I'm like, what?
But it was the best thing ever, because like, so the majority of them were sleeping, and then towards like the end of our visit, there were a couple that were kind of like stirring, and this one ended up crawling literally right above us. Like, we were like, there's a pathway for us to walk through, and then they have like the little branches and things, and it was straight up just like scurrying across, and I was like, oh, like, this is happening.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah. So that was amazing. Outside of that, we did zip lining at this place. We saw a bunch of like snakes and like iguana, what are those, frogs?
Oh.
Butterflies. They had the butterfly exhibit out here at the Pacific Science Center in Seattle. Ain't got shit on what was going on at Salvatierra, girl.
That would be
Yes.
so cool.
It was so like it's massive, of course. And I'm sure, you know, because well, it's naturally a much more tropical area. So I think naturally they're able to like house more. But there was just like, you know, they like to go where it's hotter. So as you like look up and the rest of, there's so many just flying around in this dome, and like everywhere you look, they're like to the left of you, to the right of you. You have to look down at your feet because they're just, it's like, imagine you have an ant problem, but it's butterflies.
I would love to have that problem over an ant problem.
Yeah, no, it was beautiful.
I bet that was so beautiful.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was gorgeous. We got so black and tan on the beaches. Like we were living it up in Costa Rica. Time of our lives.
Sounds amazing.
Had a lot of good sex.
Meow.
Yeah, we did. It was a good meow is right.
I was like, I was gonna say it, but then I was like, no, that's
amazing. Yeah.
No, I wish I could, like, one thing that I have been craving right now is a beach trip. I just need like a weekend. I don't need to be out there too long. Yeah. I just need to put my toes in the sand. I really want to go to Florida because when I went to Fort Lauderdale last year, like I went on a beach, I had a beach day, and like I basically just laid out for most of the day. But then like I got into the water and I don't know what it was, but it was so warm. And like, it just made me feel so good. Like, I just was like, I feel so light. And
it does that for you.
It was like low key. Like, I don't know why I was sore, but like my body wasn't hurting either.
You're relaxed. Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, it feels so good. And I just need that moment.
It does. And that's what I told, because like, you know, the last trip that we took, we were all over the place. We were walking, hiking, you know, and we decided to like, you know, do a mixture of that, do a less like strenuous adventure, because even Viv has been going through a lot and just like not really had a lot of time to like herself. So it was nice to be able to just like, no, let's not plan too much, and
like,
let's
actually vacation
where you know, we had it was really, really nice. It was a nice break for sure, and I know that she really needed that. So yeah.
Well, I love that for you guys. And while they were living their best lives and playing in the sun, toes in the sand, Kendrick and Drake were essentially demolishing each other by throwing back-to-back diss tracks out.
Literally.
Just completely embroiled the rest of us. And
it was
the
entertainment.
rap beef of the century.
Oh my god.
It was so entertaining. Like I don't think I've ever been that entertained in my life for like that long of a period.
Yeah. Between their actual dropping and Black's Twitter, it was such a fun month.
It honestly felt like everybody was like collectively holding their breaths, just waiting to see what was going to happen next. It was like, who's going to drop something now? And like the craziest thing is that it's like, you know, Kendrick and Drake obviously had their beef. That was like the biggest beef we were worried about. But because we're all like sitting around waiting for them to drop something or to say something, you've got like what Rick Ross is entering the chat. Like Chris Brown decided to diss Quavo. Quavo responded. J. Cole was gonna play and then
stepped in and then immediately withdrew.
Yeah, it was like, oh, never mind. This is about to get really serious. And then like the girls tried to start beefing like Suki and JT, and I was just like, what's actually going on?
When did they beef? What?
Girl, you gotta go listen to it. It's really terrible, but yeah. Everybody's been beefing.
It's stupid. It really is. And I'm like, is Drake dropping an album? Is Kendrick dropping an album? Is that why?
Everybody does keep saying that Kendrick is getting ready to drop an album. I don't know if there's any truth to that. That's just been like the murmurs, because I think they all were like, why would he be doing this? But like the one thing about Kendrick Lamar, and it's really interesting because like, again, like rap beef is rap beef. Like that's rap. For them to like diss each other and to call themselves #1 rapper is like, that's what it is.
That's right. Is that not how this works?
So Kendrick Lamar has dissed Drake a multitude of times. Like this is not the first time he's dissed Drake.
That's what I was thinking. Drake. Like even before the actual back and forth, he's always taking little shots.
He's always taking shots at him. But everybody, it got really personal when they dropped that Like That song. Hold up.
And that's the one where he said, you know, fuck the big three. It's just big.
It's
me.
just big me. Yeah.
Okay.
And also the song is on Metro Boomin and Future's album, which were historically Drake's besties. And so everybody was like, oh, it's beef.
Okay, so this is where like I'm so glad that you're kind of spearheading this, because like I like rap, but I love R&B. So yes. I'm always a little bit behind, and I didn't know. So Metro Boomin and Drake were besties also. Yeah, like Drake and Metro Boomin, they have a lot of music together. If you remember when Future and Drake used to do those joint albums, that was a lot of Metro Boomin beats. Wow. And so like they used to do music together, and I don't know what happened. So that makes the BBL Drizzy beat even more funny to me. Like I thought he was just, again, I'm gonna just be messy also, but that's fucking hilarious. Yeah. So like that's the thing. So like everybody was like, oh, like those used to be his homeboys. You know, Future they used to do songs together, albums together. Like they did Life is Good, and then the pandemic happened, and like they were fucking too many of the same bitches. I'm telling you, that's always how it. Everybody talked about the very like poor decisions and mistakes that they made during COVID, and a lot of them had to do with who they were fucking that they shouldn't have been fucking. I just feel like that is probably it, and I just think that it is very interesting that that these powerful men, I mean, I think that Kendrick, here's what I think that something happened with Metro and Future, and I do think that maybe Drake like fucked somebody's girl for sure, but I think that Kendrick just was like, hey, I'll get on the Future because I don't fucking like Drake. No, right. Like, I want to take a couple jabs. I like the beat. Can I do, you know what I'm saying? I hate that. Can I get in? Tap me in. Why not? Shit. Yeah, like I wanted to start some shit today. That's such a Gemini move as well. That's really wild, because like I wish, and I know that you've been a Drake fan, so you definitely peeped this quicker, but like there's been other artists and people that have fallen off with him too over shit like this, and like outside of them, who else has it been outside of like Future, Metro, and Kendrick? So I feel like we're learning more. I mean, I won't say that I'm as tapped into like their falling outs, because I feel like this all kind of like them even beefing with him. I was like, I thought everything was good with Metro Boomin and Future and Drake, you know, like this is new news. Yeah. And a lot of people said, you know, like, what if it wasn't even a diss track to begin with? Like, what if they just put out this song? Because if you listen to the whole song, Future's not dissing Drake. I mean, the whole album is called We Don't Trust You. So, like, a lot of people were just, like, putting extra... They're reading into it, for sure. For sure. What if this was just a song, and then Kendrick decided in true Kendrick fashion, like, hey, today I'm going to take shots because Drake keeps saying there's a big three, and, bruh, I keep telling you, it's just me out here. Like, I'm holding it down. Yeah. And so then it's like, of course, okay, that's rap beef, because Drake can't just let him say it's just big me. Like, he obviously has to respond. Yeah. You know, male ego. You know what I'm saying? They're like, God damn. Male ego for sure. Male fragility, all of that. They can't stand that. As soon as everybody assumed that Metro Boomin and Future and Kendrick were all beefing with Drake, and essentially J. Cole, he dropped his diss track, and he actually put out like an EP, I thought, and then he put out one called 7 Minute Drill, and that was supposed to be the diss track. Yes. He immediately retracted it even before Drake responded. In the midst of all of that, Rick Ross then enters the chat from nowhere. And I was gonna say, was he just commenting on it, or did he feel like he was also slighted? Girl, no. So he was against Drake, so he's teaming up now with Kendrick, Future, and Metro Boomin. Like, he's on their side. And I was very baffled by this, because I just feel like Rick Ross is just trying to be relevant in a moment, because I'm like, what beef do you have with Drake for real? I was like, I'm just over here thinking about Aston Martin music and what a banger that is. Aston Martin music, you can't forget about that. Diced Pineapples. Is that both of them? No, that's Wale. No, there's a different song. They've got a few songs together. I don't know where my phone is. They've got a few songs together, like the No New Friends. Oh yes. Wait. See, you know what it is? He probably fucked one of.
Stay scheming. Lord
there's money
knows. Lemon pepper.
I'm on
freestyle.
one.
Yeah, gold roses.
Yeah, they have hella. It is
Money in the grave.
Right?
But here's the thing. I will say that Rick Ross did stop fucking with him back when Drake was beefing with Meek Mill, because Meek Mill is under Rick Ross's label.
That's right.
That's like family to him.
Yeah.
So they got back good again when Drake and Meek they buried the hatchet. But I was confused. He starts calling him white boy on live. He's all over social media, like he's taking it personal. He's like, I am in this, and I'm like, no, why? What happened? And
when he's just irrelevant right now, I feel like.
I think so too. But somebody was like, oh, it's because he said so. In all of it, Rick Ross also did drop his own diss track to Drake called Champagne Moments. It's not great. Like in the scheme of all the diss tracks that were dropped, like he could have kept it. He could have kept it and he could have stayed out of it. But he basically was like calling him a white boy, saying that he got a nose job, right? And somebody in that, I guess he said that the reason why he was mad at him was because that Drake sent French Montana a cease and desist or something. Like, I have no clue. And it doesn't make any sense, because why are you fighting another nigga's battles?
Thank you. And also, French Montana is just as white as Drake.
French Montana is definitely African, Jasmine. Like, from Africa.
Wait, did we talk about he's South African, right? He's Moroccan? Was he the Moroccan one?
Hold up. Let's not.
I'm embarrassed.
Girl, because we just talked about this.
We literally did. No, I think you're right. It's Moroccan.
He's Moroccan American. Yes. Girl, I said no. We just talked about the fact that he's Moroccan.
Wait, sorry. You said Moroccan American. Like, is that like half Moroccan, half like white American, or just like... like he's American because he was born in America to Moroccan parents?
That's it.
Okay.
Literally Moroccan born American rapper.
Oh god.
He was actually born and raised in Morocco, and he immigrated to the US.
He's blacker than Drake.
He's actually more African than us.
Oh god, that's embarrassing. Okay, sorry.
So not a white man at all.
Let's get back on track, because I'm over here. Rick Ross sucks. I need to mind his own business.
Girl, why is
on every other week? I feel like some of his farm animals be escaping. Focus on building a better fence around your property, okay? Don't worry about Drake and anybody else. That's not what we're doing.
I'm sorry. So of course, Drake and Rick, they go back and forth on Instagram. It was funny between them, because it was just pure comedy, but it was like also very like, what is going on? So while all of this is happening, this is like 2 weeks since no. So when Rick Ross dropped Champagne Moments, Drake finally dropped his diss track to everyone called Push Ups. So he talks about Metro, he talks about Future, he talks about Kendrick, he talks about Rick Ross, and he also he said something else. He didn't talk about J. Cole, but he said the shit that J. Cole did was weak and he don't care what he says about it. So 10 toes down, he's basically like, it's me against everybody. And like, it was actually a really good diss track. I was like, ooh, okay, it's starting to heat up. Like, so he drops that one, and I think it was like 2 weeks had went by and Kendrick hadn't responded. So everybody's like thinking Kendrick's not going to respond. He's above it.
Yes.
Or they're thinking Kendrick's pussy and da-da-da-da-da. We might need to bleep that out.
Why? Pussy? Never. We never need to cut out pussy. Never. I'm the wrong person to ask.
I was about to say, she would say this. But and now that I lost my damn train of thought.
I'm so sorry. Basically, you were saying that he hadn't responded in 2 weeks. Everybody was calling Kendrick pussy.
So they basically said he threw in the towel. He ain't got nothing for Drake. So Drake, being as petty as he is a very petty man. He decides that he is going to kind of try and coax him out. So he drops a diss track called Tailor Made Freestyle.
Okay, so Push Ups was the drop, and everybody was like, okay, there's silence, whatever. And then he was like, oh no, you didn't hear me. And then drops this freestyle. Got it.
Yeah,
okay.
So he dropped Taylor Made Freestyle, and that's the one where he used AI to use Tupac's voice and Snoop Dogg's voice to essentially like call on Kendrick to come save LA because, you know, right now he's losing the rap beef. So he drops that, and it does get a response from Kendrick, of course, because you're not about to play with me with my favorite rappers in my face.
Literally.
So you want that smoke, here it comes. So Kendrick drops Euphoria, which, if you know, Drake is the executive producer of the show Euphoria.
Oh my god, that's right. We talked. Yes. Oh, I'm so dumb. I'm sorry,
girl.
I'm so dumb.
I'm just tapping you in
because this is obvious though. Like, duh.
Which we all know is a show about high school teenagers, so underage children, you know, going through real life situations they shouldn't be going through. And so this is the first time that he doesn't outright call him a pedo, but he kind of alludes to the fact that
it's heavily inferring it.
Heavily infers, you know, that he likes young girls. Okay. So he drops that one. And then I think literally the next day at like 6:16, he drops 6:16 in LA.
Okay, that's where that
and something that both of them did was kind of like copy each other's flows, because like if you read online, a lot of them were like basically saying like, oh, Kendrick doesn't have the flow Drake has, and Drake's the best. People who just like really like Drake, they're just like,
and they're just trying to like prove a point that like I can do whatever Drake does, basically.
Exactly. So they're basically so they're basically doing that with each other. So in 6:16 in LA, you know how Drake has all those songs like Sometime in Virginia Beach or 4 p.m.
No, exactly.
Calabasas,
yes.
You know.
Yes.
So 6:16 in LA, and he basically completely rips Drake's flow. On the cover art for it, he has like pictures of personal effects of Drake's.
And I remember seeing, yes.
So in 6:16 in LA, this is the first track that Kendrick alludes to the fact that Drake has a mole within OVO. Like somebody's selling secrets.
Okay.
Because he's like, how do I have all these personal affects? You have a mole.
I'm suddenly getting excited because like I'm understanding other little nuances and things. And like,
it is like, this is like better than the Real Housewives. I shit you not.
I love drama from like an outside perspective.
Like,
it's so much fun.
When you have drama, I love it. When I leave it.
Right, please don't.
So in it, you know, he alludes to the fact you got a mole, you need a clean house.
Right.
So the next song that Drake drops is called Family Matters. And in Family Matters, Drake, he does something, he has like 3 different flows on the track. It's a long song, and honestly,
I like the beat.
I will say like the first half of it I didn't like, and then he changes the beat up, and that's when I was like, okay, he came to play actually. But in that song, he's like, okay, so if I have a mole, who do I have to take out? Which one of y'all need to be taken out? Because I mean, in Drake's mind, he thought Metro and Future and all of them, that they were his friends. So which one of y'all need to go next? He said, who? Point them out. And then he does something that he should have never done. He starts talking about people's families. And in Family Matters, he alleges that Kendrick hits his wife, and that they're not together, and that he's living separately from her. And son is not his son.
His baby's not his.
Is like his producer or somebody.
She was fucking that close to the bunch?
We don't know.
Allegedly.
You know, I was like, I didn't think any of that's true, but who knows? So yeah, Drake just takes it to hell, basically. And as soon as he dropped Family Matters, Kendrick literally dropped, I don't know if it was 10, 30, or an hour, but literally as soon as Drake dropped Family Matters, Kendrick dropped Meet the Grams.
And this is when I remember we were busy or something. We were out and about, and it was like, damn, we need to listen to Family Matters. Or like we only were able to listen to Family Matters barely.
Girl,
and then we had to go, and then we had to go and like do something. And then I'm checking my phone. Everyone's like, "Oh, Kendrick just dropped," and I was like, "No, what do you mean? Kendrick
I was like,
his Drake just dropped."
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me sit down somewhere.
What I thought was kind of interesting though is that it's like, so like Kendrick was obviously ready to go. He was ready to drop this. The two, it's just weird that they kind of go together.
No,
like like Family Matters being a family track, and then it's weird.
No, girl, it's not weird at all.
Oh, okay, just kidding.
Because remember what I said in 616 in LA, Kendrick alludes to the fact that there is a mole in OVO. Baby, him dropping Meet the Grams an hour after Drake dropped Family Matters.
He knew what he was doing. Oh my God.
Somebody's giving information, right?
I just got chills.
We'll talk about that again. Because it does come back up. But so in Meet the Grams, he does allude again to you got a mole.
Yeah.
But in Meet the Grams, Kendrick, I feel like I guess maybe I shouldn't have said that Drake took it to hell, because like Drake took it somewhere low, but I feel like Kendrick really
went
took it
lower.
To hell. I don't know how you can go lower than hell, but when I tell you Kendrick really buried that man in Meet the
dad,
Grams.
Your mother, your son.
He started the song off by saying, "Hey Adonis, I'm sorry that's your father." Whoa, not you addressing my 4-year-old son in a
by
song
by his name.
Then addressing my mother by name and telling her you've raised a horrible person and he's a pedo. And saying it out loud on a track. Like, yeah, he's weird. It's weird behavior over there. And then begs Steph Curry, LeBron James, and anybody who hangs out with him, hey, keep your kids away from him. I was like,
oh my God,
bruh.
That's crazy.
Bruh. And like, when I tell you, I'm listening to it, me and my dad were listening to it together, and I was just like, my face was tore up. I said, it kind of hurts.
The shittiest part about this all is that it's like, okay, when it comes to like niggas in Hollywood, like accusations, like the shit with R. Kelly, it was alluded to and talked about for years, whatever, no real proof, quote unquote, right. For those of y'all that can't see, it's no real proof.
Right.
And then it comes to find out years down the road, oh no, that was true. 100% true. Same with like this Harvey Weinstein, like all this other shit, the Diddy stuff, like whatever. Yeah. Drake, I don't know how you're going to be able to ever come back or beat these allegations.
There has to be an investigation at this point.
Like, I don't.
I'm sorry.
Know.
I think that Drake just needs to like not be the person to lead it, but like just step up and say, hey, y'all go ahead and check and find the proof.
Yeah. And even that girl that like, remember like from that concert a few years ago, and she was like 17 at the time or whatever. Even she.
No. Do you remember when he was texting Millie Bobby Brown?
Yes. We all, yes.
Like,
yes.
I'm sorry. That alone, he never really they never addressed that. And I still have questions about it.
And then just the fact that like there's this trend of like every time a new young musician or model or whatever pops up that like, oh, they're suddenly linking with Drake, or like, oh, see, they're being pictured with each other. Like Drake, does that not scream predatory info? Like, oh, hey, welcome to the industry. I'll take you in under my wing. I'll show you the ropes. Like, I got you, little sis. Wink, wink.
If you think about like SZA in his situation, like they all said
she was younger
like
too.
17 when they were doing whatever they were doing. So, girl, like it doesn't look good.
It doesn't.
And there's like way more proof to kind of show that like it doesn't look good than proof that shows it does.
Well,
it's not true.
And somebody trying to take the blame off of him by being like, well, you know, he has people, or he has guys that bring them girls, so how is he supposed to know? These people that are bringing you girls generally have an idea of what you like and what you look for.
Okay.
They're not gonna, like, if you say you like, you know, them skinny models, they're not gonna bring you these BBL Brazilian people. They're not gonna do that. They're gonna bring you them skinny tiny little models. So like, right, you can't accidentally always be getting young girls because these people are bringing them to you on accident. Like, there's no.
So he outright called him a pedo, yo, and so now things are really getting fucking real.
Go ahead. Sorry, no. No. I was gonna say, that's not where he said A minor. He says A minor and not like S, right? Okay, sorry.
We're not there yet. Meet the Grams was like, he almost sounded like he was reading a journalism report. Like he was on the air, like just the flow was really crazy. Like listen to it. Like
it was
just like
I'm so sorry, babe. I'm so fucking sorry.
I'm so sorry. I didn't see Vivian come in.
That's gonna be a really good soundbite. Let's make sure we clip that.
I'm
Okay.
so fucking sorry. Oh my God.
I'm
so
sweating.
sorry.
That scared me so
Sorry,
bad.
Shantae.
That's okay.
She said that's okay.
Tell her we're gonna use that as a clip.
We're gonna use it as a clip.
So yeah, he also in Meet the Grams alleges that Drake has another child he hasn't told the world about, a girl that's like 11 years old. That got Twitter really going freaking nuts, because why were they trying to say that
Blue Ivy? Yeah.
I'm sorry, because repeating it even makes it sound fucking
It's
nuts.
so stupid. It's so dumb. And then it's just like, there was other pictures and things and clips that I've seen where it's like, okay, this is believable because this is technically like a no-name person who could favor whatever. But like throwing Blue Ivy in there and then like Northwest, like
there was a few people saying Northwest. I was like, that is actually more likely than
Jay-Z and Beyonce. Like, what? So embarrassing, honestly. People are so like,
that shouldn't be that funny, but it just is because it sounds fucking ridiculous saying it out loud.
Say it, no, repeating it back.
What?
It's like, no, listen to what you just said and then say it again with a straight face. Try.
Like this whole time, right? And that girl looks like her parents. Like, be for real.
No, literally, both of them.
She is a carbon copy of both of them. Please stop. Anyway, so that one drops, and literally Kendrick literally wastes no time. I think all that happened on May 4th, and on May 5th Kendrick dropped Not Like Us, and that was the one that put the nail in the coffin. It was done. It was a wrap, because it is now the song of the summer. It is now
it's charting. It's charting. It charted like it charted. So they said that it was supposed to debut at #1, and they said that it had done like 75 million, and it hadn't even been a week. No, I remember that because at that point everybody was still trying to keep track. I'm like, oh, who do you think is winning? And like Meet the Grams was already at like 71 million plays. Mm-hmm. And Family Matters was maybe pushing like 20 million. Mm-hmm. And this was within like a day or two. Like, yeah, girl. No, I was like, nobody's fucking with Family Matters. And when I tell you, like, Not Like Us, it was so crazy when they put that into perspective, because they were like, oh, it's going to debut at #1. I was like, hasn't it been out for long enough that it's not a debut? Like, what do you mean? When I did the math, I was like, it's not even been a week yet. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, I feel like we've had this song forever. Yeah. And it's just like, it sucks that it's like, without context, it's a bop. Like, period. It's like, a bop, period. Exactly. Without the beef, it's a fucking bop. And that's the part that finishes Drake. Yep. And it hurts me to my core. He can't go nowhere. Here's the thing. They are playing it in clubs, y'all. Yes. They have people using it at church. Like, you're what? Not like us, girl. In church? Like they're using different variations of this beat. Joe Biden's campaign. Yes, I remember. They've used it. Like, girl, like, Drake, you're done now. Like, it's a trending audio on TikTok. Like, I used it on a video. Girl, like, I love that song. Y'all know how down I am for Drake. Drake is the love of my life. I might need to stop saying that now, but like, let's be real. Like, we used to have a cutout tiny little picture of Drake on our fan in our kitchen. Yes. Like, Drake was everywhere in the house. Drake was everywhere, anywhere I went. This hurt me. And I love that fucking song, Not Like Us. That is my shit. I'll be singing it like, it is so good. I was just talking to my sister. I said, I almost hate how good it is, because I have to at least listen to it once a day now. Like, I dead ass, when I'm in the gym, I will listen to it twice on the Stairmaster. Like, yeah. And I had speaking of, so real quick, was that video AI of Drake where he was like performing at a concert to this song and he was rapping, certified lover boy, certified pedophile? Have you seen that clip? That's gotta be AI. Is he on tour right now, or like
Mm-mm.
has he been on tour?
Mm-mm. Well, he was on tour. Remember, him and J. Cole were on tour together, but he finished that a while back.
That was a while ago. Okay. So yeah,
that was
then
really before all this started popping off.
Okay, it was definitely probably like AI then, but I was like, is this him trying to play it off like, oh, I control myself too or whatever? Like,
well, okay, so like as we get to wrapping this up, so in Not Like Us, Kendrick double downs again on the pedophile allegations. Yes. He does little like tricks and wordplay on the A minor.
Yep.
You know, what else does he say?
The certified lover boy, certified
pedophile.
That's the same song.
That'll fuck him up.
Yeah.
Better do my stuff. He told him essentially that he needs to watch his back. Like he said, he thinks that Oakland show is going to be his last stop. He don't think that the Bay is going to let him disrespect Pac like that. He basically said that they're going to roll him up like Za. And I don't know if you remember, but like after Kendrick dropped Not Like Us, he used the location, actual like street location.
I did.
Mansion.
Yes. In that cover
art.
There was
actually a couple of like drive-by shootings at his house.
Yes.
Which,
yes.
I was like, I love the song, but I did not like that happened afterwards, because I was like, again, where I started all of this is that this is rap. Like they beef with each other, but it never gets to the point of like actual physical. It should not get to the point of physical violence or where someone loses their life.
I agree, and I definitely like that made me nervous, because in my mind I was kind of like, okay, are they doing too much? Are they sensationalizing this in the sense of just like, oh, you put this out and this was like a fake? You know what I mean? Like a fake thing.
And that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people are like, they're lying. They're both lying. Yeah. Nothing that they're saying is true. And it's like, and that's why I keep saying at this point with the pedophile allegations, there has to be an investigation. Because I'm like, if one of you kills Drake
over some shit that's alleged or whatever. Yeah, because like, I mean, even with the stuff that was going on at his mansion, those were just randoms, right? Those weren't any of his people or anyone that he had been like working with.
Felt emboldened to do it.
Yeah,
girl.
No, see, and that's scary.
And that's the thing. It's like, okay, you guys, like if it comes out that it's true, okay, but still, we don't just go out and like, we're not vigilantes. We don't just go out and kill people.
No, and like, people have like. No, and I mean,
Kendrick never said that. You know what I'm saying?
And we've seen in history how badly like stuff like that can go. Like, you know, oh, everyone has been saying that it was like we're gonna take this vigilante justice. You kill someone or severely injure someone, and it wasn't them the entire time.
Yes. So after that, everybody thought it's over, it's done with. Drake dropped The Heart Part 6, which is, I'm gonna misinform on this a little bit because I think that's like the title or like an album name or song by Kendrick, or like maybe he had.
Because I was wondering what happened to part 1 through 5.
Yeah, I think that's Kendrick. Yeah, so Kendrick has The Heart Part 5, and it's a single. And so Drake
he has The Heart. He does have a 1 through 5.
1 through 5.
He
so
does, yep.
Basically, Drake is doing what Kendrick did earlier by stealing Kendrick's flow to address him. And I don't think I listened to it because pretty much
I did either.
For me, Not Like Us ended it.
I feel bad, but like, yeah,
I don't. I love you to death, Drake, but there is not anything you could say that is gonna bring you back from that bop. That is a solid West Coast bop. I'm trying to learn how to crip walk just so I can dance to it.
No, Sam. Viv is so good at it. Viv be over here like sea walking. She be doing the heel toe or
okay.
No, I don't know. She just looks real gangster when she does it, and I'm like, if I try, I'm just cute. I'm just cute.
It looks crazy when I do it.
No, exactly.
It don't look like. I'm gonna figure it out though because I'm on a mission. I've been watching tutorials on YouTube and everything. I'm like, break it down for me.
We taught Demarie how to do the chicken head, and now she just won't stop. She does it all the time. It won't even be the right song, and she just over here. Just because she can.
I'm weak. But to wrap it all up, we named all the players in this and who had put out their own diss tracks. And, you know, least not forget that in all of this, Metro Boomin and Future were the ones who kind of were like at the beginnings of all of this, and we never heard from them again until, you know, if you guys remember in one of Drake's diss tracks, I think it was Push Ups, he told Metro to shut his hoe ass up and make some drums. So guess what Metro went and did? To end all of it, he created the rolling credits to the rap beef and put out BBL Drizzy.
BBL Drizzy.
BBL Drizzy. That is my shit too, y'all. They bodied my boy.
I know.
Him.
They got the Spanish speakers on it too.
Girl,
That little like
the Merengue
BBL
version is
Hey.
crazy.
BBL. LP.
So, you know, he went and he made himself some drums and he put out BBL Drizzy. He said, hey, anybody with the best verse over this, you got a free beat, just enter in the giveaway. So, you know, people are entering in and doing their own disses
Have
to
we
Drake
heard any?
over it.
I don't think I've heard any.
I've heard a handful of them. They were all right.
I'm just stuck on BBL Drizzy.
Yes. And, you know, everybody was really like, we don't know how he's going to come back from BBL Drizzy and like not like us. And of course, you know, he did the Heart Part 6. But then recently, Sexy Red, and this is the last thing that I'll say, Sexy Red, she put out a song.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's an album. I'm not sure. I don't keep up with her too much, but I did keep up with this part. So it was either The Shade Room or Hollywood Unlocked, but she put out a song and Drake is featured on it. And in a part of it, Drake raps over the beat of BBL Drizzy.
No way!
Yes.
I have not heard this. I'm
Girl,
gonna
yeah.
listen to this as soon as we get off of here.
And so I did say that is honestly the only way you can come back from something like that is if you rap over the free beat.
Right. No, literally.
But outside of that, you know, I don't really know how you come back from somebody putting out a freaking track this calling you BBL Drake.
And I low-key feel like he's been laying really low since then, right? Like he's not.
I mean, he's got people trying to shoot up his home, trying
right.
to break into his home.
Didn't he? Okay, so I saw too that
Already?
he put it up for sale. Did he do?
He should.
I think
I don't know. I don't know because I think he has multiple homes,
Of
and
course
I
he
think
does.
that the
He's
one that was
stupid
being
rich.
shot up is not the one he's selling. But I may be
Okay.
wrong. However, I was also going to say the only thing that sucks a little bit is that, okay, so in one of the tracks that Kendrick put out, I think it was 616 in LA.
Mhm.
He had the pictures, you remember, of Drake's personal effects, or like somebody had gone through his trash or something and they got all this stuff. And in it, there was like this bottle of medicine, and I guess they were all saying that like that's either
Ozempic?
no, it wasn't Ozempic. It was like pills for like insomnia or for like paranoia. So like
Oh no!
alluding to like Drake doesn't sleep well.
Oh no!
Yeah, and so I say all
I
of that
really
to
wouldn't
say,
sleep well now. Shit.
Yeah, I say all of that to say, you know, I don't think he's getting a lot of sleep. And like he even put out a tweet one time saying like because there were helicopters flying over his house, you know, after the shootings and everything happened. And he was like, hey, do you guys think that maybe you could at least fly over the house at like a decent hour so I can get some sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So
And you know, a lack of sleep can really be bad for you. Like it can really drive you crazy.
oh girl,
I'm not
without a
saying
doubt.
that it'll justify pedophilia, but you know, it will fuck you up.
I need them to do an investigation. But like if
I
you're
guess.
already paranoid and you're not getting sleep, I mean, let's just not mix the two.
No.
But yeah, that is a culmination and review of the Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef. If I had to say it, my opinion, Kendrick won it. It doesn't
Period.
even hurt me to
Outright.
say I love both of them in a different
Same.
regard. I respect both
Yeah.
of them. Drake is just the love of my life, and I like normally I would be biased.
Don't let Usher hear that.
You know what I'm saying? Actually, I would say Usher's more the love of my life.
I
than
know,
Drake,
I
but
know,
I do
I
love
know.
Drake, and we know this. But
But no,
no
I
bias.
agree, and it's one of those things where it's like I've been a long time fan of Kendrick. Like I talk about this often, and I've probably talked about it on here. But one of my favorite concerts ever was at Alaska Airlines Arena out here at UW, and it was The Dream and it was Kendrick Lamar. And it was before Kendrick got big. It was like one of his, it was like 2012, like, you know, like it was early. And I'm so happy that, like, I don't know, I feel like I'm a very good judgment, because if I was rocking with you then and this is where you are now, just shitting on niggas, like,
you know,
I've been knowing that you were that, like, no, they really aren't like you. They really aren't like you.
No, it's a very, I feel like it's also like, I don't know how to explain it, but like when Not Like Us comes on, it's so remnant. Also, like DJ Mustard being on the beat. Hello, West Coast.
Yes.
What's really good. And every time I'm out here, like, we always are like, can y'all put some West Coast music on? Like, one thing I will say I miss about the West Coast music, that's my shit. It's a vibe. Okay. And they really don't do it like I do love like all music, let's be real. Like I dance to anything that's got a good beat. For sure. But when West Coast music comes on, it just feels like home. And I think it reminds me a bit of like college and Seattle. So like Not Like Us, I'm like, that is just West Coast through and through. And again, I get back to the crip walking. I just feel like I had the crip walk to it.
I know. I want to practice. I need to practice. But it reminds me when we were at One Music Fest last year, and remember Too Short was up there, or like it was that whole like group and era, and it was just like it was a good mixture, because like Travis Porter, they're not West Coast or whatever.
They're from Atlanta.
Yeah, so it was like a good mix, but it was from that same kind of like that era and time. But like nobody was really cutting up for Too Short like the way that we
would cut up for like, Too Short,
because we were in Atlanta, we're in the South. Of course, you know, everybody else is gonna get that like attention, but like that's one thing that stands out to me to this day from that festival, was like, damn, we really got to see him live. Like,
and like to that point also, like something that I've noticed out here when I go out is like people don't really dance. And it's weird. Like sometimes they will dance. You have to go to an event where it's like dancing is the vibe. But like to go out night by night, like people don't really just go out and like, you know, everywhere plays music loud as hell, but people are sitting down like not engaging with the music. So it's like, why is it playing so loud? And so like that's the one thing, like anytime I go out, you know me, I like to dance. But somebody was saying, you know, what they noticed about the West Coast too is that people still dance. And I'm like, do it outside.
Well, and that's my thing. It's like, how do you hear music and not want to move?
Dance.
How do you, not even if it's just a little like
baba, two-step.
How do you just stand there?
You know, I'm gonna do my rhythm every time. You know, I gotta do something. So I just Not Like Us.
And it's definitely got the people dancing. Let me just say, it's definitely got them people dancing.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just crazy walking around and hearing people yell like certified
lover boy, certified pedophile.
And then like it's just, this is a weird, like, what? This is the era
I feel like that's another reason why Drake lost. Like
usually
this is usually
clubs. Usually it's a funny callback, like what ass, like I don't know, like everybody has something, but why are we all just certified pedophile?
There's literally a time period in rap, Drake, where we're all calling you a certified pedophile in the club.
This will forever be a part of your history and your story.
You know what I'm saying?
Unfortunately.
Bruh, you lost this one. I'm sorry. Oh, man.
Real quick, though, before I know we're getting ready to wrap up, but since we're still on the music tip, I'm still very much looking forward to that Normani drop. June 14th.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So we'll touch base and catch up with y'all. I don't know if we'll have to record between now and then, but like I just know that that's going to be a fun one, because again, 6 years in the making. I love that single. I do like that single.
I actually haven't listened to it yet. Thank you for reminding me.
Please, it's really good. It's catchy. You'll like it.
Okay.
So yeah, just to touch on that music thing, Normani, nobody's forgotten about you. I'm really excited, and I really don't want you to let me down. I don't. Please.
Well, that is our show for the day. As always, let us know what you think. Send us a message, a DM, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and comment there. You know, and let us know what you think about the conversation. Who do you think won the rap beef, the rap battle? Was it Kendrick or was it Drake? And what was your favorite diss track in all of it? Because they dropped like a total of 9 songs. They low-key got an album. Like,
it's an album. It should be an EP. They should title it Drake, Kendrick versus Drake 2024. The
And put it
EP.
in the order that they dropped.
That it was
it.
exactly
Yep.
chronological timeline.
I might actually just put that playlist together as soon as
Just
we're
do
done
it,
here.
right? I'm gonna put it on title.
And as always, you guys can find us on Twitter at The Way JT. You can find us on Instagram at The Way Jazz and Tae. And I think that's it. Oh, you can find us on Facebook at The Way with Jazz and Tae.
Well, that's the show.
Thanks for tuning in.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
I'm a real fly girl, I jet set round the world. Stamps on the passport, niggas tryna fly me out.